welcome to another Happy Pod, the only podcast that is brave enough to devote a whole fucking month to a movie, the latest one of which came out over a year ago, and as such we waited this long to do it, based entirely on a fucking pun. Hello everyone, my name is Nathan, and as always I'm joined by my co-host. He's a prick, and his name is Lawrence Thomas Heisey.
Hello, everyone. And hello, Nathan. I feel like your intros are getting more bombastic because we're doing an event series on the show.
Oh, fuck. My bad.
Okay, maybe not. Maybe it's out the window now.
Yeah, maybe. Look, Lawrence, I'll be honest. That intro got away from me. I planned to say something. I realized halfway through I fucked it up, and then I just rolled with it. Okay, so...
Okay. What did you plan? Do you want me to give you...
I planned to do the thing about, like... I should have written it down, if I'm being honest. I had half an idea baked in my head, and the idea was to, like... The only podcast that waited a whole fucking year to discuss a movie based on a pun. Like, just that bit. But then I realized I focused on the whole series overall, and I was like, oh, fuck, I fucked this up. Whatever. Doesn't matter. We got there. We did it.
I think you got the idea across. I was with you. I was on board.
Great. Well, it could have been better. Could have been more succinct and swift. Anyway, happy Indiana Jones.
Happy Indiana Jones. This is the first one that's actually going to release in June, so there's something to celebrate.
Yeah, well, the first one released in June, if you
waited a day after release.
Yeah, sure. If you lie.
Yeah, exactly. And we can lie as well. We can just say, no, it came out on the 1st of June. That was an error.
Exactly.
Nathan, happy Indiana Jones. It's the one we weren't excited about.
It's the racist one. Yeah.
Yes.
Look, I'll be honest. Hadn't seen this movie in about fucking at least 20 years, probably more, if I'm being honest. Since I was a young boy, okay?
Yeah.
And then... Well, I don't know. Are we getting into it? Are we just...
Well, yeah, we'll jump into it. Yeah, why not?
All right, this movie fucking sucks, okay?
Okay.
This movie fucking sucks, man. This movie is straight up dog shit, okay?
Oh, fucking hell. All right, go on.
Also, I was kind of being a bit tongue-in-cheek when I called it the racist one. I know it's, like... colloquially, like it's known as the racist one because it's a little bit outdated or whatever. My fucking god, is it racist? Holy shit. Right from the get-go. And first of all, the movie opens. I had to check I was watching the right fucking movie. All right?
Oh, yeah.
It opens with some big fucking song and dance number. I'm like, have I put on the right fucking movie? What is going on? I thought I was watching Indiana Jones, not fucking something else. I don't know. I don't think of anything, but...
Someone else insert a reference there, right?
Yeah, just fucking make your own reference. Anyway, look, here's my advice, all right? TLDR, the whole point of the podcast summed up into one little sentence here. If you want to watch this movie, don't. Just watch like the last half an hour, all right? Because really, that's the only bit worth watching. The rest is just straight up dog shit, okay? I'll be honest, fell asleep for about 10 minutes as well.
Nathan!
I did, because it's so boring, man.
At what part?
Or whatever all the fucking boring shit was going on. It's boring.
It might be hard for me to decipher what part you found boring, considering you haven't said a single nice thing about it.
Most of it's boring. Whenever they started heading off to Bangkok or not Bangkok or whatever they were going... Yeah, and we're like somewhere around there. I started to fall asleep. All that woman did was scream for the entire fucking movie. Okay?
Yeah, so that's the thing you got to know with this movie going.
I miss
right?
Marion. Where's Marion?
Yeah, where is Marion?
Where's my queen? Where's my mother? All right.
Well, he hasn't reunited with her yet because this is a prequel.
This is a prequel technically.
An odd choice. What
a piece of shit this movie is.
Okay.
What a fucking...
Nothing redeeming?
No, there's some redeeming stuff. Ke Kwan is great. Okay. Yeah. Harrison Ford's not that good in this movie, if I'm being honest. I feel like he's phoning this one in a little bit.
Well, he's mostly not there. It like he's got the close-ups, but all the action, which is a good 80% of the movie towards the end, it's not him.
Did you like the part where it turns into a commercial for like probably some kind of roller coaster at Universal Studios.
Yeah.
That was a great part. I love
That went on for way too long.
That was a
bit.
long part of the movie.
It was. No, look, right. I knew going into this, I'd watched this whenever Dial of Destiny came out, right, in the build-up for Dial of Destiny, right? And then I also sat with this footage because I worked solo on the Caravan of Garbage for this, right?
Ooh, humble
No.
brag.
Well, yeah, well, there we go. Thank you, everyone.
Yeah.
Anyway, go check it out. Little tiny show really needs the support. But I sat with this footage for a long time, and for a very long time I was like, nothing.
What do you mean footage? You mean the movie?
Yeah.
What a weird way to describe a movie.
Well, no, because I was editing it, so it was like it was in like a little source monitor in the corner. Like it wasn't. I wasn't watching it.
I feel like that's worse than content footage.
All right. Don't have a war with me. Be cross at the film.
You
Leave
guys
me
checked
alone.
out this new footage?
For fuck's
You talking about a
sake.
movie? What are you saying?
It's editing term, isn't it? It's
Okay,
just
well,
I always
sorry.
say that. Yeah.
Sorry if I freaking missed the video, man. Of it. Those fucking
No.
editing hats on.
Don't say. Do not call me Mr. Video Man.
I will call you Mr. Video Man if you do eyes like this.
Going into
What
this
a
movie,
piece
you-
of shit this movie
Nathan,
is, man.
shush.
I'm angry at it.
Okay. How long ago did you finish watching it?
Like 5 fucking minutes ago.
Okay, great. We're getting fresh removed,
Yeah.
Nathan. Yeah. Okay. No, look, two things you have to know. Firstly, it is racist, and I was kind of unprepared for just how racist. I remembered it being less racist. It's so racist.
It's so racist. And like right off the bat as well.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
they do not give you a chance to adjust to the racism in this movie.
Every single time you think the racism goes away, it comes back in a stranger way.
Yeah.
And more bombastic. Like you're like, oh, okay, this isn't as racist as it was a minute ago. Oh, here's a man in full blackface. Great.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Several. At several points.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. He comes in and out. The other thing that I kind of didn't realize was just how sexist it is too.
Oh, it's so sexist as well.
Where's Marion?
Where is Marion? Who is this woman? And why has she been written to be the worst character ever?
Yeah.
Okay, whose whole point is literally just to scream, to complain, to be racist. Okay.
Yes. Yeah.
And then for Indiana Jones to like be, hey, shut up. Hey, give me a kiss. You know?
Yeah.
That's the entire point. And she'll also show off some sexy cleavage at one point. That's really her entire arc in this movie.
It's a strange kind of inclusion, right? Because we've seen it done better. We've seen Marion. Like Marion, we spoke last week. She's an interesting character.
Marion
right?
is worlds above this, mate.
Oh, worlds and worlds above it.
Don't get me wrong, there's some probo age stuff going on, okay? But like,
yeah.
we'll sweep that under the rug. Okay?
But that's nothing to do with her character though, because like even in that probo age stuff, she's the victim in that scenario. She's not like
sure.
there's no
Yes.
dodgy character choices for her.
No.
But yeah, no, it's weird, right? Because she, what's her name? Willie.
I don't fucking know what her name is. I could not tell you what her name is.
So that's Steven Spielberg's wife in real life.
Is it?
It is, yeah.
Are they still together?
Yeah, I think they met on this set.
Insane
yeah.
behavior.
So
he
funnily
didn't. He
enough,
didn't write the part for his wife because fucking no, that is grounds for divorce. If so,
well, funny fact, he wrote the part pretty much not for, but with in mind, and this has been largely speculated. I don't think he's ever commented on it. But he was going through a very not pleasant divorce at the time of writing this movie, or not writing it, but like working on it, because I don't think he actually wrote for it directly, but he was definitely like a story hand.
comes across.
It certainly does. There's certain divorce lines in this, like you're used to getting everything your way, and the thing with you is you scream too much. And there's a lot of lines in this where I'm just like, come on, dude. I think you've let your home life interfere with the work a little bit too much. There's obviously the bias in her writing, but then she spends the whole movie being like inappropriate and disrespectful about culture, which also. There's a weird thing you have to wrap your head around here as well, because the stuff that she's saying, like, I'm not eating monkey brains. Yeah, you're right. You shouldn't eat monkey brains.
But also, no one's eating monkey brains, though.
Yeah.
This is the thing. Like, the good people of India are not just sitting down for their evening meal going,
Yeah.
get out the fucking monkey brains, lads. Let's all tuck in. You know?
That's the strange part, because the movie's like, this character's so racist, and I'm like, you're so racist. Why would you write this? And then, yeah, she spends the movie flip-flopping between being utterly repulsed and completely obsessed with Indiana Jones as like as a romantic prospect. And it's like, come on, man, we can do so much better than this.
Yeah.
She's by far and away the worst part of the movie, I think. And that's not like a discredit on the performance.
She's easily the worst part of the movie.
Yeah. Like, look, performing-wise, great screams, right? Must have worked very hard on that set, but they gave her character absolutely nothing to do. Like, genuinely, I watched it thinking, is she going to participate in any part of it? There's parts where she's, like, on the sidelines, and people are fighting around her, and she's just, like, fist-pumping and being like, get him!
Yeah.
I'm like, if this was Marion, she'd be in there just raw-knuckling some prick. Like...
As she should.
Yeah. So, yeah, that's by far and away the most disappointing part. Right, let's... The opening scene. Here's where we may differ. It's a good opening. It's very action-packed. It's classic Indiana Jones style.
I wouldn't say it's classic Indiana Jones style. I'd say clearly Spielberg wanted to do a James Bond movie. And never got the chance. Okay,
did you notice the very subtle hint?
Yeah, it was pretty subtle, but I did pick up on a few fucking cues. There was something that tips my hat, so maybe there was some James Bond stuff going on.
Yeah.
Fucking hell. Look, it was a bit much. It was a bit slapstick, wasn't it?
It was one of them things where every scenario, as soon as it was resolved, they went, and now it's worse, somehow. Like,
I think the most insulting part about their opening sequence was there's like some guy who's with Indiana. Like, so he's like dressed up as a waiter or something. His name was like Wuhan or something.
Yeah.
And like at one point he gets shot and killed, and then in his dying breath he's like, "Oh, we've had so many adventures together, Indiana Jones. Show me that. Show me these two. Not this piece of shit movie. Show me Indiana teaming up with Wuhan and Short Round, just going on fucking adventures and fucking kicking ass together. What instead I get this piece of shit."
Also, like, for someone that is, like, supposedly kept up with Indiana Jones and all of his adventures, like, what a terrible death for him.
Yeah,
like,
he got just quickly shot very quickly.
Yeah, in just formal Shanghai dinner time.
Yeah,
like, just goes out. He does have a good line about him being like, we've done, like you say, so many adventures, and, like, I followed you down so many paths, and this is the one I'll walk first alone. And it's like, look, it's a good line. I like the line, but ultimately, like, who is this guy? He just exists to die very quickly. I don't know. I don't know much about, like, I've never watched the Chronicles of Indiana Jones or that old show, but
Indiana Jones.
Is it called Young Indiana Jones?
Yeah, it's called Young Indiana Jones. Yeah.
Yeah, they were obviously feeling creative when they whipped that one up. But then again, young Sheldon. So
yeah, there you are.
We haven't moved on too far. All right. So you say. It's a bit slapstick.
Is he in Young Indiana Jones? Is he?
No, I don't know. I don't know if he's like a character that they maybe build up a little bit with, like, retroactively.
Maybe they should. Maybe. Yeah, no, the opening's a bit slapstick. It's all like, here, drink this drink. That's definitely not poison. Yeah, all right, no worries, mate. And then it's all the fucking kerfuffle with, like, trying to get the antidote and trying to get the diamond, and everyone's rushing about, and there's fucking, I don't know, gunshots going off, and it's just all a bit much, really, isn't it?
It is, and
what the fuck was with that musical number as well? Insane.
Just a bit of showmanship, just a little bit.
But why?
A little bit of pizzazz.
I love a musical. You know this about me, but I just can't understand it. And it's racist.
Is that racist? She's just singing.
It's pretty racist. I think everyone is dressed up to be an Asian woman when they're all clearly white.
Oh, like the depiction of it. Like,
yes.
Not the song itself.
Well, I didn't listen to the song, if I'm being honest.
Well, you'd be hard, unless you know Chinese, you'd be hard pressed to. So
there you are.
Anything goes or something. Yeah, I don't know. Look, I think as soon as it gets out the restaurant, it gets a little bit better. They have that fun thing where, like, this maniac comes down with a Tommy gun and they start spraying, and so they use, like, the cover of some rolling dome circle thing to jump out the window into a car where we meet the best character in the entire movie.
Short Round. Yeah.
Incredible.
What a king. What a king.
Yeah, yeah.
Ke Huy Quan said, I'm going to give it my all, and I'm not going to stop doing that for 40 fucking years. And he hasn't. All right?
No, he hasn't.
What an absolute legend.
Even though he disappeared from being on the screen, he's still like he's probably behind some of your favorite fight scenes in like the 90s and stuff.
Probably.
Right? Like that man is incredible. But yeah, I everything
I love
about
that he's got
Short
big
Round I love.
blocks on his feet when he's driving
Yeah,
the
yeah,
car.
yeah.
That's so cool, man.
Hold on to your potatoes.
Yeah.
What's this? It doesn't matter. It's good.
What a king. What a king. He fucking there's like some couple on like a pedal car or something with some kids just like running with the little car behind him, and Short Round's like, well, I've got no choice, and just fucking drives into them.
Just rear ends the couple and they're just like in the air.
Sends them flying into like a fucking fruit stall or some shit. Hilarious, great stuff. I'll tell you what I did like as well. I liked once they like wrapped up and he got on the plane, and then Indiana was feeling very smug, and he was like, whatever that guy's name was, let's call him John. He was like, he's not John. I know it's not John, but let's just call him John.
Careful, you're sounding racist.
He was like, hey, I'll see you later, John. Closes the door. John's Airways on the door. That was very good. I liked that. That was good stuff.
It's a good little reveal. And this kind of speaks to what we were talking about last week, that he's not an infallible fucking unstoppable action hero. Like he ultimately... He's competent, but he's still a bit of an idiot at times.
He's a fucking massive idiot, mate.
Yeah. And he a lot of the time he lucks through stuff by the skin of his teeth.
Yeah, very evident in this movie, yeah.
Oh yeah, he's getting saved a few times in this. No, I like with Short Round as well. I like that he's he very obviously idolizes Indiana Jones, and there's so many little details where like he just copies his movements.
Yeah.
In the background of scenes, like there's one where Indiana Jones does his little, he does his little thing where he ponders by like rubbing his chin.
Yeah.
And he's like, and then like Short Round, you see it's such a visual beat. Short Round sees it and then just does the same thing. And like anytime Indiana Jones isn't wearing his hat, Short Round has put his hat away and has taken Indiana Jones's hat to try it on.
Yeah, it's very cool. I like that.
Yeah, it's a great performance, and he's also just like. He's a bit of fun, and it makes me wonder why they just like... I guess it's the nature of it being a movie from the 80s where they had to have some sort of romantic like set piece or like character to give Indiana Jones someone to kiss.
You got to put a dame in the movie, all right?
Yeah.
you want to sell a picture, you got to put a dame in the picture. You got to get a cleavage out, and there's got to be a big kiss, all right? That's how you sell a movie in the 80s, all right?
No one can see Nathan now, but he's wearing like a cap. And he's coming across as very Hollywood director right now. From the like, you got to get a dame in the movie. You got to
go picture. This is how you do it. This is how we do it in Tinseltown. Okay.
You're missing a cigar, and that's it. The look is completed.
There you go.
But yeah, it's a strange choice for her to be there because Short Round and Indiana Jones would have just been the perfect pairing, and also really different. Like it would have been quite a unique idea way back then as well to do this.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, fuck it. The idea was unique back then, but then they just kind of overcrowded it, and it's weird because she still has nothing to do for the entire plot.
What I can't work out is why the fuck is she with them anyway?
Yeah, go home.
From what I could gather, all right. And granted, I wasn't paying that much attention, all right.
Sure.
But from what I could gather, she was like married or the partner or something to like the fucking villain guy in the club or whatever. She was like his. A mistress or whatever. I don't know. There seemed to be some kind of thing going on there. Because Indiana was like, I'll kill your woman if you fucking don't give me the... He put a fork... Whatever that was. He put a fork to her stomach and was like...
Oh, no. It was like sausage skewers. Like, they could like go through someone.
He was at a fucking dinner fork, all right?
You take one. They're sharp.
Sure. He was like, I'll kill your racist woman, all right?
Yeah.
And then she was like, yeah, I don't know. And then he just fucking stole her. And then she just stayed with him for the entire movie.
Yeah, there are several instances where I'm wondering why she hasn't, like, just hitched a ride and gone home. Like...
Why did she leave with him in the first place?
Well, no, that wasn't really... She had the antidote, like, in her dress. She took the antidote for his poison. And he was like, I need to leave because I'm going to get shot. So I guess you're coming out the window with me because you've also got the antidote and I'll get it in a minute.
Should have kicked her out of the car.
Nathan, she didn't do anything wrong, all right? It's just bad writing.
I know, but
Careful how you come across it.
he's killed for less, is all I'm saying.
Okay. All right, in terms of like the premise and the setup, the last one we spoke a little bit about how it's impossible to hate it because it's just let's get one over on the Nazis.
Yeah.
In this one, it's like
What a weird thing to say that I miss the Nazis, you know? Don't clip that out. All right? No one clip that out. Like, you know what I mean?
yeah. Sorry, what a perfectly clean audio recording of that.
No one, leave that alone, all right? No one do anything with that.
Yeah, it's so the premise: an abandoned palace has been reclaimed by a bunch of dictator types, and they're starving the locals. And they removed a sacred stone that supposedly protects the village, and they also stole away their children in the night for reasons unknown.
Well, they work in the mines.
No, I know that, and we find that out, but the village
right.
doesn't know.
Whatever the mines are, just vague mines. What are they
No,
mining?
no,
Who knows? Don't worry about it.
No, you did fall asleep. That is clearly stated.
Is it?
Yeah, they're looking. So there's three. They have 3 stones. You know the sacred stone.
Yeah, there's a big glowing stones. They got a big light bulb in them.
But there's originally 5, and they're somewhere around in here.
So they're looking for more stones.
Yeah, they want to get the 5 stones so that they can wield the ultimate evil power. I think the power they have is evil enough, to be honest.
Yeah. Well, are they got a portal to hell?
Yeah, I have no idea what that... Like, I just called it the demon black hole for all of my notes.
There's a fucking swirling portal to hell. I don't know what's going on.
It's like a sacrificial thing, isn't it?
Oh, there's all kinds of weird fucking demon and shit going on. The guy pulls a heart out of his chest.
Yeah.
He's like, Karima, Karima. And he pulls the heart out and he's like, I've got no heart. I distinctly remember Indiana Jones getting his heart pulled out of his chest.
Yeah.
But that doesn't happen, so I don't know.
You keep doing this. You keep beefing a movie for doing something it never did.
I'm not beefing it. I'm just saying. This is my memory.
Okay. Did you not think that any of that got like a little bit, like, no, like a little bit like
racist?
Yeah. Well, look, right. Everyone that's listened to up until this point, right? Already you've probably left because we're not crazy.
Does anyone like this movie? Come on.
I like parts of it. I think there's redeeming factors.
I think like once it goes from like Indy and the kids breaking out of the mine, all right, that's some good shit, all right? I can do without the Universal Hollywood Studios commercial for 30 minutes, okay? Still is pretty fun, okay?
Yeah.
And then the bridge sequence is whatever, but like the last half hour is like the only redeeming feature of the movie, if you ask me.
So like what? Nothing before that? You're not vibing?
No, honestly, I think it's boring. It's just a lot of talking and walking around and just doing nothing and incredibly long racist dinner scenes.
That is a long scene. I tell you what, I wrote down something about that compares it to Raiders.
I could not tell you a single thing that happened in that dinner scene other than the monkey brains, and there was that big guy who was like, look at me, I'm fat, I'm eating all these weird stuff, you know?
Yeah, and like burping and licking his lips.
Yeah. That's the only thing I could tell you about that dinner scene.
Well, don't forget the incredibly fun and relatable bit where they invite the distinguished guest from the British Empire to sit with them and then reprimand them for trying to break away from the British Empire.
Don't they get saved by the British Empire at the end?
Yeah, I turned to my wife.
Colonialism, yay! Tally ho, boys! The British are here to save the day.
I turned to my wife and said, "Thank God for the British Empire." Am I right?
For Queen and country, we did it, boys.
Right, now you're safe. Get back to fucking work.
King and country, excuse me. It was 35, yes.
A fool.
Yeah.
No, I think there's a distinct reason why this feels more boring than Raiders felt boring. Because Raiders also was home to... Well, yeah, firstly there's that. But Raiders was also home to long dialogue exchanges where they explain the plot to us in detail. But the reason it feels worse here is actually a filmmaking thing, I think, right? Because there is... well, I wrote it down.
Are you about to get wanky?
What I feel like you can get on board with it because I feel like it's a pretty universal problem.
All right.
That like I'd be surprised if you didn't notice or other people didn't notice, right?
Speaking of universal problems, make sure you guys check out that Hollywood roller coaster at Universal Orlando Studios.
We've had enough adverts for that, all right? Stuff it. As expositions go, it's worse in Raiders, right? In Raiders, there's a dialogue scene where the two guys sit down and recruit Indiana Jones and his mate that handles all of his jobs for him. And they basically all share their knowledge of history, and it's clear to us through like blocking and through Indiana Jones breaking away, writing on the whiteboard that like he knows his stuff, and these other guys, Porkins and the other guy, is like, okay, sure, we'll just go along with this. You obviously know your stuff, and it's a chance to learn more about their character as well as a chance to explain, hey, we're gonna go and fucking kill some Nazis and steal a thing. That's all you need to know.
Yeah.
And in this one, they have a very long sequence where they walk around this like village that is obviously on its outs, right? Kids are starving. Well, there aren't many kids around, but villagers are starving, but they're still being quite welcome and warm hosts. And Indiana Jones is interpreting what this Indian fella is saying to him because he's not completely fluent in English. But they haven't layered the sound mix at all. So it's just two people fighting for vocal presence in one track.
Yeah.
So, like, Indiana Jones is speaking, giving us the exposition we need, while someone else is in the background. Like, imagine if I'm talking, and then it's
imagine
just...
if I talked over you.
Yeah, so let's just talk now, and then we're both saying the same. It's like that.
Yeah.
It's like, I can't hear. Yeah. I can't hear what the fuck's going on. So that's a strange choice, which I'm not necessarily on board with.
I just think it's boring.
Yeah, I mean, there goes that as well, that the premise is just infinitely less interesting.
Yeah. I couldn't even tell you what the premise was. I don't even know who the villain was. It was that guy. He just, like, showed up at the end, as far as I'm aware.
No, he was in it. He was... when you say the end, the entire last hour of the movie is in the Temple of Doom itself. So...
Oh, is that the Temple of Doom? Oh, I guess that makes sense.
What did you think the Temple of Doom was?
I don't know. I wasn't really... I was so bored, man.
David walks into a delightful Shanghai restaurant where there's lovely live music being performed, and he's like, this must be the Temple of Doom.
I would rather be in a delightful Shanghai restaurant than fucking watching this movie. I'd have a great time.
Okay. What would you order?
Chicken balls.
The go-to. Hello, mate. Yeah, can I get some sweet and sour chicken balls, please?
Yeah. Catch me in Shanghai ordering chicken balls.
Thank you for seating me at this fine Wagamama's. I'll take a katsu curry, please, my man.
I've never had a Wagamama's in my life, and I never will.
Oh, you're missing out. You got to get yourself a yakisoba, Nathan.
No, I'm not a Tory.
Actually, that's not...
Wagamama's seems Tory to me. I'm not eating
It's expensive, I'll give you that.
Well, there you go, exactly.
Yeah.
Just because you've got Tory money growing up in your fucking castle. Growing up in your Temple of Doom.
My first Wagamama's was at uni, when I think everyone had more money than me.
I had more money than you at uni.
Yeah, because everyone was given money, and I was like, oh, this is...
Yeah, because you was a poor little rich boy. Because Mummy
but
already
I
had
wasn't
the money.
seeing it. I wasn't my money, was it?
I remember all those lasagnas your mum sent you.
Oh, yeah, exactly. Come on, man. She's a sweetheart. No, we dined like kings. We were partial to a Nando's at uni.
I wouldn't say we dined like kings.
We had meatballs and Nando's and nachos. We were very good at the art of nacho making.
We were. Well, and for us, yeah. I'd like...
Oh, no. There'd be bad and unhealthy nachos for everyone else.
Yeah.
But we had a great time with our like entire wedge of mature cheddar cheese grated on top.
It was a great time. This movie wasn't.
Okay. All right, well, before you do any more moaning, we're going to go to a quick ad break while we pay some bills. Is there nothing, like, other than Short Round, is there nothing that you come around on in the last, like, half hour or so?
Yeah, like I say, the action with when they were breaking all the kids out and stuff is fun.
Yeah.
I like Indiana Jones fighting a big guy. That's good stuff. Okay, that's always fun. Yeah, that's about it.
Fair enough.
There's really not much else, to be honest. I tell you what, there was one moment which genuinely scared me. Like, I genuinely fucking jumped in my seat.
Okay.
There was a jump scare moment. It was when, like...
You went, the racism.
I did, yeah.
Yeah.
Whatever fucking the screaming woman's name was, and Short Rounds, they were, like, up on, like, this little rock whilst Indiana like went down to the Temple of Doom and like went through into the mines, and then just this guy's face popped up out of the rock, and when they got captured, I was like, "Holy fucking shit, man! That got me."
It's yeah, he's got a good villainous vibe. Like I know you say he's not really a massive present villain, and because he's way less interesting than all the Nazis were last week.
I didn't even notice he was the main villain until the end of the movie, when he's like, "I'm the main villain now."
Yeah, when he's "Get off the bridge, bitch."
Has he always been the main villain? How long has this been going on? I don't know. Couldn't tell you.
I think all that creepiness, like in the Temple of Doom itself, right? I do think it gets to a point where it becomes quite fun, right? There's the design of the Temple of Doom is like incredible. Like all these statues with their glowing eyes. Like there's a bit where the main villain falls to a trapdoor, and like Indiana Jones is about to stab him with a sword, and the trapdoor engulfs him, and he goes ha ha ha, and like rolls away out of sight. And it's like one intricate little design for such a silly, quick throwaway gag. Like the red mist everywhere is very visually pleasing.
Yeah, it's fine, but it's in a boring movie though, isn't it?
No, I think that like I think the last hour of this movie is infinitely better than the first hour. Like,
well, yeah. It's not hard though, is it?
No, but it's not a traditional 3-act.
The last hour is generous though, because it feels like the first hour and a half of this movie is just a fucking slog of nothing. It just feels like a whole bunch of like, apart from like the weird slapstick opening, like once they like crash land, once they get to India, and like from there to like the point of like the mine coming in, just everything in between there, you can just get rid of if I'm being honest. There was even a sequence where like Indy had got himself trapped in a classic Indiana Jones trap. He's like,
the trash compactor.
Yeah, the trash compactor. Yeah, him and Short Round are trapped, and fucking the woman has to free them. So it's just the fucking most frustrating, infuriating scenes you've ever seen in your life.
Yeah,
and it's just dull. It's not interesting, is it? It's just a bit boring. Yeah. It's the slowest fucking trash compactor in the world for a start.
Yeah.
Okay, it takes about fucking 4 hours to kill anyone. All right. I do find it interesting though that like the iconic Indiana Jones grabbing his hat from the door coming down is actually from this movie, whereas in most like parodies and homages and whatever, it's like always attributed to the boulder and door sequence.
Oh yeah, that's actually a good point.
Yeah. So there you go.
They're missing a trick.
Anyway, bad movie.
Okay. No, look, the trash compactor, you're right. It feels stakesless because it gets past the point. They oversell the joke of her being like, "Oh, I chipped a nail," when Harrison Ford's like, "Open the fucking door."
Yeah.
There is a fun moment in it though where she goes, "Let me in," and it just like the camera whips back and forth. It goes, "Let me in," and Short Round goes, "Let us out," and it just goes back and forth between them. Yeah. It's okay.
Do you like this?
Right, I don't. Right, it's a very strange movie because it contains Indiana Jones, and since Raiders last week, I'm big into it now. Like I'm hooked for the ride.
Let me say this, okay?
Yeah.
I haven't seen Kingdom of the Crystal Skull. What the fuck was that? I haven't seen Kingdom of the Crystal Skull in like probably 10 years or so. Okay. I'm almost certain it's better than this.
Okay.
I'd be willing to put a bet that it is better than. I think in 2 weeks or whatever, when we get to that, if I think it's worse than this, shoot me. All right.
Okay. All right.
Because this is rough, man. Do people like this? Am I going insane?
People are very. I think no one loves this.
This is the worst one, sure.
I will reserve my opinion because firstly, you haven't seen Dial of Destiny, and Kingdom of the Crystal Skull you haven't seen in a while. You made me do it.
That's
I
true.
said Stole too.
That's true. I haven't seen Dial of Destiny. Let me look up the Rotten Tomatoes.
It's definitely lower. Raiders is hailed as the Holy Grail.
See, I remember as a kid, I fucking loved The Last Crusade as a kid.
The Last Crusade is my favorite of all of them.
Record the dog, Indiana.
Because because I think we'll get to it next week. But like I think the Last Crusade is the perfect meld of blockbuster meets pulp adventure.
77%. 82% audience score. Insane. What is wrong with you all? Truly fucking insane.
Right, but remember a lot of that
I
is
need
probably...
I need to go on Letterboxd because I feel like I'm going fucking insane right now.
You're not going to find any better on Letterboxd. I'm almost certain of it.
I need to know. I need to feel validated here in some way because...
You're not going to find it, man. Look, I'm sorry about this, but you're not going to find it. It's got a 3.6 average out of 5.
I feel like I'm going insane.
No, I think it's distinctly different from the other two, right? It pushes the boat out way further, and for some people that's a hit, and some people that's a miss. For me,
Brian and David did it on the Talking Pictures podcast. I might have to listen to that. Check out the Talking Pictures podcast, everyone. By the way, from Brian and David, two beautiful Irish boys. We do a good, beautiful podcast over there.
It's a good show. It's good. I was listening to their Civil War one the other day. It's very insightful, interesting stuff.
That's the thing. That's how I was going to describe it. It's a lot more insightful than whatever the fuck this is.
Yeah.
So if you want like actual commentary about stuff, like they've got you covered. We really don't know what the fuck we're doing here.
I feel like they see, like, I don't know how much money they have for cinema tickets. I feel like they see everything immediately too.
Yeah. Two beautiful boys. Yeah.
I think this is disappointing because of obviously the racism and the sexism stuff. Even if you look at it in a vacuum of like, this is a product of its time, filmmaking practices were infinitely more exploitive and worse, and like more happy to brush over certain. My mate's white and fucking 7 foot. Let's have him play the big brute, even though he's not a person of color at all.
What was? Isn't the? I heard that the guy who plays the big brute isn't it the same guy from the first one?
Yeah, Pat Roach, his name is.
Is it the German guy who like he has a fight with on the plane?
Yeah, the massive guy who gets his head fucking eviscerated by a propeller.
Yeah. Interesting.
Same guy. Different skin color in this. I don't know how they did that.
Me neither. Strange.
Crazy, right?
Strange. That beard did most of the work, I reckon.
Oh, it really did. Yeah, it was hiding a lot of face real estate for sure. Incredible. Look, side point. Incredible beard. Maybe it was real. Who knows?
I don't think it was.
Okay.
I don't think it was. And I think also, like, in the Temple of Doom itself, whenever there's, like, all those guys there in turbans, I'm sure most of those are white guys as well.
Here's a general rule for this movie. The closer to the screen they are, they're more likely to be a person of color.
Yeah.
Background people, not a fucking chance of representation there. Yeah. It's just a general rule. Also, the darker, and this is awful, but the darker that the movie gets as we veer into the Temple of Doom stuff and the more shrouded in smoke the screen becomes, the more they do it with white people.
Yeah.
It's something you can very visibly track watching this, and you're like, oh, Stephen. Stephen, why?
You're better than this, Stephen.
You are. You're so much. Oh, look.
Come on, Stephen, featured director of Ready Player One. All right, you're better than this.
No, name his good ones as well, Nathan.
I refuse.
Of which he has famously more.
No, it's true. He does have so many more hits than misses. But look, this and Ready Player One, they're not good.
Stephen, we're not on talking terms. Relationship ended with Steven Spielberg.
Friendship ended with Steven Spielberg. What did George do in this? What was George's involvement?
He had a story credit.
All right.
So
he was racist too. Then,
yeah, so he's in the bin and all.
Great.
Unless he has a story credit in next week, in which case he's back on top. Friendship revitalized with George Lucas.
I'm friends with George again. I think it'd be fun if Indiana went to India and he ate the monkey brains.
I was gonna do a Steven Spielberg, but then I realized I couldn't, and I can't do a Harrison Ford either. I'm not here. I'm getting back surgery.
It ain't that kind of movie.
It ain't that kind of. But that's Mark Hamill's for Harrison Ford.
I know. That's what you do, isn't it?
He nails it, and no one else needs to do it better than that.
It ain't that kind of movie. Kid.
It ain't that kind of movie. Yeah. None of us have the vocal timbre to pull this off.
No, we don't.
Right, to answer your question from a million years ago.
Okay,
right,
well, I forgot, but sure. Remind me what the question was.
you asked me the blanket statement, do I like this movie?
Oh, yes, okay.
Right. It's a complex question.
Okay,
Because
it's not yes or no.
I like it more than I dislike it.
Okay.
And I think that, and this is kind of why we got off topic, right? Look, cultural depictions, female character writing, it sucks. It's as bad as it's ever been.
Yeah.
Right. Really, really poor show in terms
It's
of what.
so over. It has never been more over.
it's Jova for Steven Spielberg.
So Jova for Spielberg right now.
But other stuff, action sequences, I think are really well done. The like a lot of the staging and the actual directing, while I don't think it's as close to Raiders as like we were piping off saying the directing was incredible last week, the directing in this still is like to have your last hour take place in one setting and for it to, you know, like you said, it does feel tedious at times, but to be able to create that many distinct visual moments is impressive. It is a challenging feat to pull that off, and I think I appreciate the filmmaking, and I appreciate the massive swing, because this is so far removed from Raiders, and I like that they took a risk. I don't think it paid off 100% of the time, but I find it more interesting than I dislike it, if that makes sense.
Why is it set like a year before Raiders?
Yeah, so Steven Spielberg has spoken about this. They wanted to show you Indiana Jones unhinged, never learnt a lesson. They wanted to show you this is as ruthless as he once was, which makes it a strange choice that it's only 1 year before Raiders, and they also make him the father to a child.
Yeah, that's true.
And I know the kid is insane. I know Short Round is fucking insane. But at the same time, I feel like it's a strange narrative choice, right? Because it makes him go, for this movie, for his character to be satisfying in this, by the end, he trades in fame and glory for giving the people back their sacred stone or whatever, right? He commits to the idea of, this is bigger than me.
But then in the next movie, is like, I want it for the museum. You know?
Yeah, so they did the same arc twice for him, and like, so what an eventful year or 2 years he's had where he's like, I should give the stone back. Nah, fuck these guys. I'll do what I want. Oh, I should give this Nazi fucking thing back or whatever.
What happened to Short Round?
Right,
Is this one of life's greatest mysteries?
This is one of life's great. I'm going to Google it to see if anyone's publicly kind of commented on this, because it must have come up. Sad year for Short Round. Maybe that's why at the start of Raiders he's like, I hate everything again.
You should have been in Dial of Destiny.
Never mind.
Well,
I can't comment on Dial of Destiny.
okay, fair enough.
That's all I'll say.
Yeah.
Short Round. Anyway, afterwards, Shorty sounds weird. I'm just going to call him Short Round. Afterwards, Short Round. Jesus.
They do call him Shorty in the movie.
Yeah, I know, but I feel weird when I go Shorty because I don't speak like that.
Right. Go Shorty.
Yeah, and then it also sounds like I'm being like, yo, Shorty.
Yo, Shorty, bring that ass over here.
Okay.
That's what you sound like. Hey, Short Round, quit fooling around with that kid and get over here. You're just beating the fuck out of that kid. That's great stuff. Well done,
that is great stuff, yeah.
Yeah.
And that kid's...
That kid's fucking weird as well.
It's insane. Yeah. Afterwards, Short Round found a more stable life at an American boarding school, though he still paired up with Indiana Jones for the occasional adventure and maintained correspondence with his friend until at least the 1950s, having taken up the hunt for the elusive Diamond himself. So in other words, no. Okay. he left the movie.
Well, there we are.
He left the franchise. He left his so-called best friend, the man he loves and idolizes and looks up to as a father. Yeah. Crying
Indiana
shame.
Jones got possessed in this movie. What the fuck happened there? He just turned into a zombie for like 10 minutes. And then Short Round just set him on fire for a moment. And then he was like, hey, kid, I'm fine now. Let's all fight these men.
No, he gives him a shock, doesn't he? He gives him a little zap. get him back on board with stuff. Look, I like that. I think all that stuff is interesting because it's a scary moment when the most capable man in the room, the only guy that's kind of vying for truth, the other one being like a 10-year-old boy or whatever, who's not really capable of bringing this down himself. He just gets possessed. He's about to watch fucking Willie die, and he's like, love
about
this.
to go into that portal to hell.
Yeah, wherever they end up going.
She should 100% been dead on there. She was like a foot away from that swirling pool of lava. That would have burned her face clean off me, okay? Heat rises. What are you doing, man?
Yeah. It's also very convenient that they decided to remove the practice of let's remove the heart first. Like, let's not do that this time.
Yeah.
Let's just keep her heart where it is.
Yeah. What's going on with that heart stuff? Why did they remove that guy's heart and then he was like, I'm fine, actually?
Well, the answer is racism.
Okay, yeah.
Because it's supposed to be some cultural voodoo.
It's all weird, mystical, Asian Oriental mysticism, and look at all these weird cultures that you don't know. All right,
and here's a reason you should never get to know. Stop it.
Exactly.
It makes the world a smaller and more boring place.
See how much more civilized we are than these savages. Ooh.
Yeah. Don't go to India. These guys are pulling hearts out. They're not. They're not, and they're also not. They're eating really nice food, not this food.
Fucking love Indian food, man.
Yeah, I like a korma. I was doing the joke.
A famously British dish.
Yeah.
It's funny every time you see like top 10 lists of like the famous British fruit and chicken tikka masala is on there. People are like chicken tikka masala, British fruit. Yes. Yes. It was invented in fucking Birmingham, mate. All right. It is a British fruit. If you go to fucking India, you're not gonna get a chicken tikka masala.
Yeah.
Right? You fucking idiot.
This has bothered you. I can tell you've been holding on to that for some time.
Yeah.
Do you not think it does get to a point where it is genuinely creepy, where you feel like, oh, the stakes have ramped up once Indiana Jones does start kind of being an evil guy?
No, because first of all, I didn't know whether it was an act or not. I didn't know what was going on.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't know if he was doing an act or what. He just like at one moment, he just like had a big smile on his face and then he was like a zombie for 10 minutes or something.
That was his evil smile.
Yeah. But then he was like locking up fucking whatever her name is in the cage and stuff. And then he had a moment where he seemed like he knew what was going on, but then not really. It was weird. There was some weird choices. So I was never fully sure of what was going on.
There's too many close-ups where I think they shot themselves in the foot with this.
They have too many Harrison Ford confused face moments.
Yes, they do.
You know,
yeah.
they have that like, face a lot.
What kind of movies?
And then he'll do that, and then he'll go into the big Harrison Ford smile that he does. You know, he'll go,
yeah. So this is the trouble, right? They made it so that the possessed people all take an immense amount of pleasure and glee in killing people, right?
Yeah.
So they've all, whenever they like, the kid has it, like when he's voodooing Indiana Jones to death, and he's just got a big creepy grin on his face, right? They all seem like they're essentially getting off over it, like they love it big time.
Did they take the time to make that doll and put a little leather jacket on him and a little hat?
Yeah, I like that they also added a whip accessory too.
Was that necessary to the voodoo doll?
Oh, we don't know how specific it has to get there. This is one of them scary cultures we've been taught not to learn about.
True. He's got whip action.
This Indiana Jones has 6 cool racist phrases. Pull the whip to hear his first racist phrase.
And Lawrence is going to say it now.
No, I was about to say, take it away, Nathan.
Well, that's how I beat you to it.
God damn. Well, I guess, well, here I go. It's no choice. No, I'm not going to do that. No, I do think that there's too many instances where, like, that glee and that pleasure in death, they confuse it with Indiana Jones's cheeky smirk and a knowing I'm about to beat all these guys up. Because I'm like, it's the same facial expression.
It is the same facial expression, yeah.
Which is, I do like his wink to Short Round though, and then the theme kicks in and they just spin on the spot and start beating people up.
He's like, "Hey, I got a plan. Don't worry about it." And then his pilots just turn around and just start punching. Okay.
Yeah, but like, and also it's a strange choice because like not 5 seconds ago things were looking very dour as Harrison Ford was like getting choked, whipped. Short Round was getting whipped.
Yeah,
like,
that's true. Yeah.
it's some brutal stuff, but it turns out all they need to do was spin on the spot and start punching. Just throwing
fine,
wild
actually.
haymakers.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, God. All right. Can I get wanky again, please?
Oh, if you must.
The action geography, Nathan.
Let me get wanky.
Please.
Club Obi-Wan.
Yeah. Did you also hear a certain sound effect? I'll test you.
Was it a lightsaber?
Yeah, when the door to
definitely.
hell opened.
Yeah, I definitely heard a lightsaber.
Yeah. I rewound it and I was like, hang on
Yeah.
just a second. Also, trash compactor. Also, Harrison
Solo.
Ford runs into a space very confident he can take them on, and then more guys show up.
That I did remember that. I thought they did the exact same thing in A New Hope. There you go. Yeah.
Look, they're mates. They're good mates.
Also, he plays Han Solo.
I don't know if you noticed that, but I
Biggest
certainly.
reference of them all. if you-
I spent the entire movie going, where do I know this guy from?
That's Han Solo.
That's him. Right. The action geography, right. It's in Raiders they did this as well, right? It's so well established because, like I said, the last hour of this movie takes place in essentially one big room, right? And it's an they've deliberately made it an interesting room with like this kind of water mill bucket situation that's like circling around and filling up buckets, and then a conveyor belt. So there's like a kind of a rickety bridge over the top of it, not the rickety bridge. There's kind of a smaller one in the Temple of Doom itself. So
The precursor to the rickety bridge.
yeah, the tease,
Yeah.
the Easter
So,
egg.
no, I fucking love short rounds going over that bridge going, it's strong, it's
Yeah.
fine, it's strong, don't worry about it.
It's a realistic fall. The stunt work in this is very good.
I love
Like-
short round.
It's very good. But yeah, I like all of that. You've got like loads of interesting fights in this, like the fight on the conveyor belt where the big guy, who is definitely not a person of color, has got his like head stamped, or he's got his foot stamped on Indiana Jones's neck, and then
Here's
like
something, all right. When the big guy who's not a person of color
yeah,
was like, when he was trapped in the thing at the end, was Indiana Jones trying to save him?
what when it? Nah, he fucking don't give a fuck, does he?
It kind of seemed like he was for a moment.
No, he was trying to make sure that he wasn't going to go in, so he got himself on the counter rope so that he rose up and didn't get swallowed up by this thing.
Seems like he was trying to save him.
Reckon?
Yeah.
I don't know. He seemed pretty happy to let him fucking go under and then watch his blood smear across the roller when it came up the other end.
Yeah, I don't know.
I like that this guy just has varying degrees of absolutely horrific deaths. In this
Will he be
franchise.
in The Last Crusade?
I can't remember. I
Well.
can't remember if he is.
I'm excited to find out.
As am I. They do a gun versus sword callback, which is actually not a callback.
I noticed that. Yeah, there's a moment where he runs across like the ridge of the mountain, and there's two like fucking ninja guys there, and they pull out their sword, they start doing their tricks, and then he like, I remember this one. And
I
then
haven't
he goes
done
to
yet.
pull his gun, and it's like, but you haven't done that yet. This is a callback to something that hasn't happened.
And his face is so knowing as well. He's like, we all remember this.
It's like,
From
wait a
Raiders.
minute, this isn't like last time. I don't have my gun.
Yeah. It is good. Look, it's funny. It's a bit of a it's just a little meta joke, isn't it?
Yeah.
I forgive it. It's fun.
Well, as long as you forgive him.
There's some good deaths I wrote down in this. There's always some good deaths in a good Indiana Jones movie.
Love a death by crocodile.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Even though it's very obviously just ripping apart a body bag with clothes on it.
Yeah, they just gave the crocs some like loose red fabric or some shit.
Yeah.
And just let them go to town on that. But
It's
yeah.
incredibly shallow water to not see any bodies, by the way.
It's true. Yeah. Well, they're obviously not gonna feed a man to the crocodiles, Lawrence.
Nah, but
are
give them a
they?
prosthetic and fill it with chicken or something. I don't know what they eat.
No.
Have a good time. A man is hung on a ceiling fan by a whip.
That seemed a bit daft to me. I was
Oh,
like,
well, the
first of
assassin.
all, yeah. First of all, that wouldn't support his weight. All right.
Yeah.
Second of all, it seemed like he was gonna have like a fucking a propeller death, like the guy from the fucking plane. You know?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
It seemed like he was gonna be blitzed to death, and I was like, on a ceiling fan,
It
really?
would fucking hurt, but it wouldn't eviscerate your face. No.
No, you'd be fine.
Yeah. Well, you'd hurt a lot.
I've got a ceiling fan in my room. Often I want to just put my hand in it and see what happens.
I thought you were just leading me down a really dark path then.
I'll
Let's
be
see how
back
much
in
weight
a
this can
moment.
support. Yeah, no. We need to move away from this. This is not a good joke to be making. A burnt alive dude gets his heart ripped out. We've spoken about that one. Someone
Was he burnt
lunges it-
alive?
Well, he gets burnt alive because the black hole thing, it sets his heart on fire, doesn't it? It's the
I don't know.
well, I tell you what, I like the detail in this little prosthetic heart, because as he gets lower and lower, the heart that's been removed from his body starts beating faster and faster.
Yeah.
To obviously show his heart rate's going up, and then when he dies, when he's obviously like, I don't know, engulfed by the demon black hole or whatever, then the heart sets on fire in the guy's hand. It's good, pulpy horror stuff. I think there's a lot of good moments like that. A lot of detail.
None of it's as good as Raiders.
No, it's not, and it's also going for a very different thing. Like, it's so different from Raiders.
Yeah, racist.
Yeah.
Which is weird when the fucking main antagonist of your first movie is the Nazis, alright?
Yeah.
It's weird that this is more racist than the one with Nazis, but...
Yeah, look, this is one of them things. You've just kind of got to... We said this in Raiders, because admittedly it's way tamer in Raiders, right? But there are some cultural depictions that you've kind of just got to go, stop it. Don't do that.
Raiders is fucking the least problematic fucking breeze of a movie compared to this. Raiders is progressive compared to this.
Yeah. Yeah, true. I was surprised they didn't have a Disney disclaimer. You know, like some of this is from a different time.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
The cultural depictions of this time do not represent our current values.
We're going to make too much money if we remove this, but it's racist, just so you know. But we're going
I'm
to
Walt
keep it
Disney. Am I racist? I don't know. I don't know enough about him.
Definitely.
I don't know enough about him. I don't know.
He's
if
a
he was
very
racist.
prolific racist.
Was he racist? I don't know if he was racist.
The Walt Disney was extremely racist, yeah.
Was he?
Yeah, big time.
Are you sure about this?
Yeah, there's been so many reports of his racism.
Let me have a look. Let me look into this.
Find out.
I haven't heard anything about that.
You should educate yourself, Nathan. Clearly you're not as progressive as you thought.
Fact checking if the age-old rumors of Walt Disney's dark side. What is this? Walt Disney was an anti-Semite. Well, there's a famous Three Little Pigs scene in which the wolf was portrayed as a Jewish peddler. The scene was later reanimated, and there's the fact that in 1938, a month after Kristallnacht, Disney personally welcomed Nazi director Leni Riefenstahl to his studios. In Walt Disney, The Triumph of the American Imagination, the most thorough biography of the Mogul, Neil Garber explores the rumors but argues that Disney practiced tolerance in his home life. There is some dispute whether the spirit of tolerance extended to the studio, but the Jews who were there, it was hard to find any fault. Walt was an anti-Semite. Walt Disney was a racist. These challenges stem primarily from the use of racial stereotypes in movies from the 40s. Dumbo's Black Crows, Fantasia's Black Servants, Song of the South, a movie so offensive that Walt Disney Company will no longer let it be seen in public. Is it on Disney Plus?
Almost certainly.
I'm pretty sure it is.
They put everything they've ever made on Disney Plus, didn't they?
Then there is Walt Disney's Own Behavior, God, the Science meeting in which Disney referred to Snow White's dwarves as, I'm not saying that. And another in which he used the term, again, not saying that. The book notes that Disney anticipated the Song of the South controversy and attempted to make it less racist with a rewrite and a meeting with the NAACP. The meeting never happened and the movie was released anyway. There was also some controversy about the company, blah, blah, blah. These are certainly not flattering facts, but they are facts. Okay, well, there you go.
Great.
It's not saying that he's an outright famous racist, though.
No, but there's some ties and there's some things said and there's some... Look, everyone was saying stuff behind the closed doors in this time period. In like
Everyone
the 50s.
of this period was racist, okay?
Yeah, yeah.
Your grandparents are racist, okay?
Yeah, sure.
So there you go.
there it is. Have you heard about this the thing that apparently Walt Disney's the last thing he ever wrote down in his office while dying of cancer was Kurt Russell?
Yeah, Kurt Russell. Yeah.
At least he's relatable in one patch. My last thought too will be of Kurt Russell.
He was talking about Godzilla versus Monarch or
He
whatever.
said, I can't wait to see him in that.
I can't wait to see Kurt Russell in Monarch Legacy of
Because I'm going to
Monsters.
live forever in my freezer or something. That's another thing people think, right?
He thought, I can't wait to see Monarch Legacy of Monsters starring Kurt Russell on Apple TV Plus.
Oh, you got anything else on this?
Nah, it's bad. It's a bad
Look,
movie. It's a bad movie. I'll be honest, I never want to watch this again.
Fair enough.
I'm very much looking forward to next week to get
Yeah.
a taste of this out of my mouth. So yeah. Would not recommend. 2 thumbs down.
I can absolutely understand the frustration people have with it. I think there's some horrendous stuff in it that is very dated and not okay, and also just not interesting. But ultimately, I think there is interesting stuff in it. I think there's very good action sequences. I would say I still like it more than I dislike it, even if I can recognize this is really not not the stuff that should be still made.
Well, there you are, folks. You heard it here first. Lawrence loves racism.
There it is. There it is, everyone. Nathan, obviously, before we move on, we do have the recurring segment, No One Frames a Shot Like Steven Spielberg.
Sure.
So if you will indulge me, please. There's a shot of Short Round throwing Indiana Jones his whip when the assassin is trying to kill him, and Indiana Jones is reflected in shadow, similar to the Raiders shot when he meets Marion for the first time. Short Round tosses it up in the air, and we see Indiana Jones as a shadow figure on the wall behind Short Round catch it and do a big whip, and it's a great shot. Definitely doesn't line up like with where Indiana Jones should be in the room, but
Yeah, it doesn't at all. Yeah.
who cares? Movie magic. The cab on the tracks, the little Minecraft cart shining the light gradually up on Indiana Jones, and he stands there like an action hero and then just punches that guy into next century, and he like skids across the tracks. That's a great shot. I like that a lot. And then the last one is way more subtle. It's very brief, and it's not even that impressive, but it's very cool. It's Short Round. It's a tracking shot behind Short Round as he runs through the Temple of Doom itself, through guards, and he's weaving in and out of machinery. And it's not like a shot that makes you go wow, but it's a shot that if you watch, and I've seen behind the scenes of the camera operator trying to pull it off, and it's like it's having a hell of a hard day. it's a very running after this extremely energetic 10-year-old who also is like insanely good at this stuff. It's fun, so I had to commend his efforts here.
I reckon anyone could have framed those shots.
They could have. They didn't though,
But then why is it No One Frames a Shot Like Steven Spielberg?
because he framed them, and that's
But you
it's the cute name of the segment.
All right, okay.
you gotta just
The
get with it.
segment should be called "These are some shots that Steven Spielberg framed." Okay.
Okay, yeah. No, the point I'm getting across is he genuinely seems to be more creative, especially in the 80s. It was like his go-to era for like. There's some incredible shots in his career.
Womp womp.
One point. Good. Nathan, it is the time of the show where we recommend some stuff to.
Oh fuck.
Oh, God's sake. Right, you think I'll intro. Nathan, it's the time of the show where we recommend some stuff to each other and to the lovely listeners at home. Basically, it can be anything that we've checked out, read, watched, experienced, or done in the past week that we would love to share with the good people of the Another Happy Pod community. Do you want me to just go ahead, or
Yeah, go.
I refuse?
All right. Well, this will be interesting then, won't it?
No. Right, I'm going to go ahead. Right, it's the movie Civil War. Alex Garland directed it. It's his newest
Captain
movie.
America: Civil War.
No,
I've
he's made it. Well done.
Lawrence.
He's made the joke that everyone on the planet has made.
I fucking got him. I fucking got him.
Yes, well done. I've been got. Well done.
Yes.
No, it's a great movie. It was definitely a different movie to what I was expecting it to be. I think I came out of it and people are like, seemingly online, people are quite shocked and surprised by the lack of politics in a movie set in a modern day America Civil War.
Did you buy it or rent it?
I bought it. I did text you. It's
sick.
on my Amazon if you want to watch it.
I can still watch it then. So.
Yeah. So
Probably won't, though.
no, but it's on your watch list. I've seen it there.
It is on my watch list. To be fair, I have wanted to check it out.
Yeah, I was excited about it. It's a good movie. I think it takes a different approach to what you'd expect it to be saying. It doesn't really care for politics. It's more about the like obsessive art and like a trade-off between humanity and how it ties into this notion of the general public's passive observation of war and its atrocities. Like, it's a lot easier to ignore something that you're seeing on a phone than if you were to see it in real life. It would probably change you as a person, whereas on social media you can scroll past these things and bury your head in the sand. Yeah, it's a great movie. It's really good, and it's also quite like, obviously it's not making major commentary on this, but like it's quite indicative of the time that we're in now, that being there's genocides being ignored because it's easier to do nothing than it is to do something. But yeah, genuinely good movie. I would check it out. I had a really good time, and it's also super breezy. It's like an hour and 40, so it's a nice breezy time. Nathan, what are you recommending?
That's almost close to being the perfect length of a movie.
Yeah, I know, a 90-minute special you can't beat. I understand.
Almost. I am gonna recommend Sunrise of the Reaping.
What's this?
This is a book written by Susan Collins, the writer of the Hunger Games series, and it is a Hunger Games book about Haymitch competing in the Hunger Games. And it's not out yet, and it comes out next year.
You fucking... I thought I saw this today. I was like, I didn't know that was already out.
No,
you can't recommend this. This isn't something you've done or watched.
It was announced. I read the tweet, okay?
Fuck. So no, what you're actually doing, and you have to stick to this, is you're recommending a tweet.
No, I'm recomming the book.
How can you? That is not a true recommendation.
Well,
you have not seen it.
Neither have fucking whoever make the Hunger Games movies, because they've already announced the movie as well. Okay,
mate, that book could be dog shit. They're still making it as a movie. That is not an endorsement.
It won't be dog shit. It's Susan Collins.
No, I like her a lot. I haven't read any of the books, but like the ideas and
because you can't read. We all know that.
No, that's not true.
You're still fucking working your way through that Oppenheimer book. What page are you on? 4?
No, 5. Give me some credit, please.
Yeah.
All right, that's definitely one of your weaker ones. I'm not sure it sits well with me.
I think that's a perfect recommendation. So I recommend The Hunger Games, whatever that one was called. I can't remember. Sunrise of the
fucking
Reaping
hell, dude.
Haymitch, he's doing The Hunger Games. It's going to be good stuff.
I don't disagree with you. I like more Hunger Games stuff.
Will Woody Harrelson be in the movie?
No, they'll get the guy that played, in the last couple of seasons of Game of Thrones, there was the young guy that played Sean Bean as a young boy.
He's like 40 now. They won't get him.
Nah, they'll get him. He's still got the youthful vigor.
No, he's way too old.
Game of Thrones, that was like 7 years ago or something that ended. It wasn't that long ago.
No, he played Elrond in Lord of the Rings. He's a grown man now.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
The one that went, no, now it ends.
Yeah, he's Elrond in Lord of the Rings. Yeah.
Look at him go. At least he's got some work. Does he do the northern accent in that too?
No, I think he does just a Elrond accent.
What's that?
I don't know. Elvish.
Now Nathan's being elf racist.
Yeah. I fucking hate those elves.
Yeah. Anyway, thank you very much for listening. If you've enjoyed the show, please feel free to leave us a 5-star review. It'd be very much appreciated. You can also follow us on Twitter at AnotherHappyPod. That is also a pretty good place where you can suggest a topic for us to check out. And be sure to join us next week on our lovely journey through Indiana Jones, because we are obviously going to be checking out this.
Junior? Don't call me that, please.
I want you to find the Grail.
I've heard this bedtime story before.
Eternal life, Dr. Jones. The gift of youth to whoever drinks from the Grail.
After you, Junior.
It's The Last Crusade.
Da, 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 da. What a fucking banger. I'm so excited to watch this.
I'm so excited for this, yeah. This was my favourite as a kid, so I'm excited to revisit the magic. It holds up.
For context, we are recording this on the last possible day. This episode comes out tomorrow morning, because I think deep down neither of us were keen to get to this.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah.
We'll be like, let's record The Last Crusade tomorrow night.
Yeah.
Let's chomping at the bit to get to it.
We are. Nathan, I don't know if you're aware of this, but we actually have a new Ko-Fi link. It's in the show notes.
Yes, we do. Yes, but you keep switching it up. You keep saying, I don't know if you're aware of this, and then switching to a different thing every time. The I don't know if you're aware of this. It's the key for me to plug the other podcast, whichever one it is. All right?
I'm keeping you on your toes after that recommendation. You can't be trusted to be left to your own devices anymore.
You can't be trusted to left to your own devices.
Hey, I'm here. I have my recommendation. It was all ready to go. The proof is in the pudding.
Yeah, well, we'll see. Let's wait and see how your next Still Got Legs intro turns out. All right.
Well, it'll be yours, but that's fine.
We'll see.
What niche and private jokes we are making? No, we do have a Ko-Fi link. It's in the show notes. It is under Still Got Legs because obviously, as we've alluded to many times, that is our better performing podcast. But if you do fancy tossing us anything at all to keep the show running, then you're welcome to do so. Absolutely no obligation, no pressure whatsoever. These are coming out for free forever. So
whether you like it or not.
Yeah, whether you're here one
out.
Listener a week, strap in, you're getting it.
You're getting it.
Nathan, we have another podcast, don't we?
There you go. We certainly do. It's called Another Still Got Legs. It's a Docky Who rewatch podcast where every week we watch and discuss an episode of Doctor Who. I'm going to tell you what, we have a bloody good fun time doing it.
We do.
This week we're just starting off our journey into Series 6. Big blockbuster American season. So we're having fun. We're exploring Utah. We're exploring space. We're exploring mysteries afoot.
There's definitely mysteries afoot.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
The mystery of how River got so sexy.
Oh. I thought I was safe on this show, but it turns out I'm going to start barking any minute.
Stop.
Right, thank you for listening, everyone. Join us next week for The Last Crusade. We will see you Friday at 10 a.m. Stay cool, stay beautiful. Nathan, hit us with those John William tones.
Lawrence, I was going to play the Another Happy Pod theme.
And I was setting you up again for that joke you did last week that I enjoyed so much, where I said, hit us with that John Williams, and then you just went, all right, and then played the theme song.
All right, well, what a great setup to a joke.